All right, well, we're back. We had some technical difficulties as Mackenzie Taggart draws the leadoff walk here in the bottom of the second. For those of you just joining us, because of our technical difficulties, Frostburg State scored 4 runs in the top of the first inning. Chowan rallies in the bottom of the first to score 3. Emma Ray Flores hits a batter in the top of the second, gets a strike him out, throw him out, as Mackenzie Taggart takes off for second base on the wild pitch after the leadoff walk. Brings up number 19, Paige Wilhelm, the Hawks' leading hitter at the plate. As she takes ball 2 in the dirt, and Mackenzie Taggart takes off for third. Makes a wide slide as the ball skips away. Wilhelm is a freshman from Frederick, Maryland. She looks at number 2-0 pitch, rip off the third baseman's glove, and she'll reach safely. Mackenzie Taggart wisely holds up, as she is the tying run.
Now batting, center fielder number 5, Delaney DeVore.
Runners on the corner brings up Delaney DeVore. The JUCO transfer from Rock Valley. Paige Wilhelm takes off for second base. Mackenzie Taggart goes on the throw, and she is called out at the plate on a bang-bang call. Taggart trying to even the score. They did give Wilhelm an infield single off the glove of the third baseman. DeVore is up 1-0. That pitch is in the dirt for 2-0. Like I mentioned, DeVore is a JUCO transfer from Rock Valley College. Back-to-back NJCAA national champion with Rock Valley. She went 109-22 in her 2 years. As she looks at ball number 3 high. Wilhelm at second base with 1 out. Here's the pitch, and called a strike. DeVore takes strike 2 to fill the count. She fouls off that pitch, keep the count full. DeVore lifts the pitch right in front of the right fielder, and Wilhelm will advance to third base. Camera is in center field today to try and give you guys better vantage point, as we're located right behind right field. That ball was coming right towards us. Got caught up in the wind a little bit. 2 outs. Wilhelm at third base for Brittany Parson as she looks at ball 1 in the dirt. McCarty's 1-0 pitch, and Parson lines it to second base as she throws it in the dirt after making a great stop. Just throws it straight into the dirt, and it was tough for the first baseman to handle. Pretty sure that's going to go down as an E4, allowing Wilhelm to score and Brittany to reach safely to tie the score at 4 apiece. Well, with the error by the second baseman, brings up Lindsay Stigler, the designated hitter, as she looks at ball 1 inside. Stigler drops one in front of center field for a 2-out single to keep the line moving. Going to have another conversation in the circle. It's Frostburg I saw their once 4-0 lead early be matched by the Hawks in the bottom of the second. Parson at second, Stigler at first. Brings up Jessie Gentry. She looks at the first pitch for a ball outside. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Gentry fouls it down the third base line to even the count at 1-1. Gentry's up the middle, diving stop by the second baseman, flipped backhand to the shortstop to get Stigler at second base. The Hawks do post a run in the bottom of the second to tie the score at 4-4. We'll be back with the top of the third. We're back here in the top of the third. Frostburg State 4, Chowan 4. Emma Ray Flores still in the circle. Kennedy Batchelor at the plate to lead off for the Bobcats as she fouls off the first pitch. out of play. Owen pitch lifted to left field. Shannon Buchanan calls off DeVore for the first out of the inning. Great communication between those two, as there's almost a collision in the first game as Buchanan dove for a ball and DeVore had to think quickly and jump over to avoid any
First baseman number 10, Amber Keene.
any contact. First pitch low and outside for Amber Keene. One oh pitch is taken inside for ball number 2. Amber Keene is the leading hitter for Frostburg State last season, as she hits a little dribbler to third. Parson, tough throw coming across the diamond and getting Keene for the second out.
With 2 outs, here's designated player number 13, Taylor McCarty.
Brings up the designated player slash pitcher for Frostburg State, Taylor McCarty, as she takes the first pitch for a ball. Home plate umpire has to maneuver the field umpire, who is in the B slot. Umpire checks down with him, see if she went around. Says no for ball 2. From my vantage point, it looked pretty good. But nonetheless, McCarty looks at a 2-0 pitch, lines it off the glove of Wilhelm, as that ball was tailing away from her, and picks up a 2-out single. Two outs to bring up number 18, Aaliyah Ramey. Coming in to the tournament, she's 1 of 11, but does have a .309 career batting average with 17 doubles and 53 RBI. She was named CAC All-Academic as she takes the first pitch in the dirt. Ramey will look at that pitch for strike 1 to even the count at 1-1. Here's a 1-1 pitch roped over Parsons' head at third base for a 2-out single. As Frostburg State has runners on first and second, with 2 outs in the top of the third. Hanlon will send one into center field. A strong throw by DeVore holds the runner at third base, as Claire Hanlon singles the center field to load the bases with 2 outs in the top of the third to bring up number 5, Erica Payne.
Second baseman number 5, Erica Payne.
Frostburg State started their season at Francis Marion in the Fox Swamp Sizzler. Picked up the first win of the year before dropping the next 3, as Payne looks at strike 1 from Emery Flores. Flores delivers high for ball 1. 1-1 pitch outside. Takes the count to 2-1. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Looks like the same spot. This time gets the call to even the count at 2-2. The bases are loaded for Frostburg State with 2 outs. Oh, she thinks she got Emma Ray, hits her on the leg, but Payne sticks her leg out, and the umpire is calling her back as she is hit by the pitch, but did stick her leg out. That is a new rule. She has to make an attempt to get out of the way. The umpire makes a signal to the press box. Looks like the head coach, Bill Vasco, was just warned. That pitch inside does make it 3-2 though. Nowhere to put her as bases loaded with 2 outs. Here's the pitch. And ball 4 nonetheless as Payne walks in an RBI to regain the lead 5-4. Brings up the right fielder, 0-0, Ava Nibbis, and she takes the first pitch high for ball 1. Coming in, Nibbis is hitting 200, 1 for 5 as she looks at ball number 2. Nibbis is a transfer from California, Pennsylvania. She looks at strike 1 with an off-speed pitch by Emma Ray Flores. She looks at a ball outside, 3-1. Once again, Flores has nowhere to put her as the bases are loaded here with 2 outs. And Flores will get out of the jam with only 1 run surrendered with a ground out back to the pitcher.
Frostburg State scored a 3 hits, no errors, but also 3 lost.
Chowan coming to bat in the bottom of the 3rd, trailing Frostburg State 5-4 when we come back. We're back here in the bottom of the 3rd as Frostburg State leads your Chowan Hawks 5-4. Emma Ray Flores had to work out of her own jam there. as she did walk a batter to plate a run to give Frostburg State the 5-4 lead. Leading off the bottom of the third for the Hawks is number 15, Meredith Morgan, today's shortstop. Shauna Leonard is now in to pitch for Frostburg State as Morgan looks at strike number 1. McCarty moves over to first base from pitching. Morgan fouls off the 0-1 pitch to fall behind 0-2. Pitch, and Morgan spoils it off to stay alive. And Morgan takes the 0-2 pitch upstairs, 1-2. Here's the 1-2 pitch by Leonard, and Morgan's a little late on it, but fouls it off the face of the first base dugout. As we'll do 1-2 again. Morgan fouls it out of play. Just staying alive to lead off the inning. As Meredith Morgan's not missing by much. So we'll do the 1-2 pitch one more time. Here's the pitch. And Morgan spoils it off once again into the football practice facility. Here's the 7th pitch of the at-bat. Morgan doesn't chase upstairs, evens the count at 2-2. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Morgan slaps it into the ground to second base. Payne just shovels it over to McCarty at first base for the first out of the inning. Even though Morgan had the ground out, she showed her teammates a lot of pitches from Leonard. Brings up Shannon Buchanan with 1 out, who is 1 for 1 with 2 RBI after a single in the bottom of the first inning as she looks at ball 1. Buchanan takes ball 2 low and in the dirt. Chowan sporting the neon pink jerseys and socks for today's strikeout cancer game before game 1 against Elizabeth City State. The father of Paige Wilhelm threw out the ceremonial first pitch as Shannon Buchanan pops up to the second baseman for out number 2. Two outs in the inning brings up the catcher, Brooklyn Johnson. who is 0 for 1 on the day. Johnson's fared well off the bench for the Hawks in her 2 seasons, hitting .400, going 8 of 20 with 8 RBI, 11 runs, and a double. And she takes ball 1 in the dirt. 1-0 pitch is fouled off, out of play. The 1-1 pitch, Brooklyn Johnson grounds it down to third base. Gotta make a throw. It's a little high as Johnson will reach safely. Tough call, but it looks like it's gonna be a throwing error on the third baseman.
With 2 outs, here's right fielder number 14, Mackenzie Taggart.
The error allows Mackenzie Taggart to continue the inning. Left-handed batter out of Dover Plains, New York. She takes first pitch in the dirt. Taggart was a starting right fielder last year for the Hawks. It's .258 in her career with 37 runs. From that left side of the plate as she takes ball 2. Taggart looks at a strike on the inside part of the plate, runs the count to 2-1. Taggart takes strike 2 as Leonard evens the count at 2-2. And Taggart late on that swing. She strikes out to end the inning. Frostburg State scores 1 in the top of the third. Hawks unable
No hits, no runs, 1 error.
to find the evening's run as the Hawks trail 5-4. We'll come back for the top of the 4th.
After
We're back here in the top of the 4th in the final game of day 1 of the Hawks Softball Classic. Frostburg State leads Chowan 5-4 as Kat Treff takes ball 1 outside. MRA Flores still in the circle for the Hawks, as that pitch is high and tight for ball number 2. Treff grounds that ball over to third base. Strong throw by Parson to get the speedy Treff for the first out of the inning. Which will bring up Brianna Powell, who was 1 for 2 today, with a run scored and a stolen base. She'll take the first pitch, line it into right field. She's going to second base as the misplay from Mackenzie Taggart. Looked like the throw should have got her at second base, but unsuccessful, as Brianna Powell will reach on the single to left, single to right, and advance to second on the air.
Now batting the catcher, number 3, Kennedy Batchelor.
Brings up number 3, Kennedy Batchelor, who's a transfer from West Virginia Tech. She fouls off the first pitch down the third base line. Batchelor hit .333 at West Virginia Tech as their second leading hitter. West Virginia Tech is the NAIA program. She lines the second one as Parson looked to have had that ball in foul territory but dropped it. Down 0-2 in the count. Check swing in the dirt. And the umpire is pointing down to the field umpire, who was looking in the first base dugout. No chance he saw that pitch. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Batchelor lifts it foul into the woods, down the left field line. And we'll do the 1-2 pitch again, as Batchelor lines it to shortstop. She will take off and end up at second base on the throw by Buchanan, as Powell holds up at third base. So Bobcats have runners at second and third with 1 out here in the 4th. And brings up Amber Keene, who is 0 for 1 today.
Now batting number 10, Amber Keene.
Here's the pitch, and outside, 1-0. Here's a 1-0 pitch. Inside, called for a strike. Flores winds and delivers just outside for ball 2. Keene will look at ball 2 in the dirt. Excuse me, ball 3 in the dirt, 3-1 to Keene. Delivers and fouled in the box to run the count full. Runners on second and third with one out. Here's a full count pitch. And missed outside for ball 4 to load the bases. Which will bring up Taylor McCarty, who started the day in the circle. She is 1 for 2 with a run scored. And ripped down the third base line. Brittany Parson rifles it past Brooklyn Johnson at the plate. McCarty will get a fielder's choice. And Powell will score on the error. Nothing pitch to Ramey. Just misses 1-0. A 1-0 pitch called a strike. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Fly ball called off by Brittany Parson as the infield fly rule is in effect. Be the second out of the inning. Big out by Flores as bases remain loaded for number 22.
How about number 22,
Claire Hanlon. She looks at the first pitch, called a strike. Hanlon's 1 of 2 with an RBI today, as Frostburg State leads 6-4 here in the top of the 4th. Flores 0-1 pitch, misses outside. Number 9, Carly Wildeboer, is warming up in the bullpen for the Hawks as Flores' 1-1 pitch misses low. And 2-1 pitch is low once again, 3-1, as Flores has to battle back here to limit the damage to 1 run in the 4th. Gets the pitch, strike number 2. So full count here in the top of the 4th, bases loaded, as Batchelor's at third, Keen's at second, and McCarty's at first base. And Flores gets her looking to escape the jam in the top of the 4th, as Frostburg State does score 1 run, but leaves them loaded. We'll be back in the bottom of the 4th. All right, leading off the bottom of the 4th for the Hawks is at the top of the lineup, number 19, Paige Wilhelm, who's 2 for 2 with a stolen base and 2 runs scored. The first pitch to Wilhelm is high for ball number 1. This is the 1-0 pitch called for a ball. Two and 0 to Wilhelm here in the bottom of the 4th. Takes that 2-0 pitch, slaps a hard ground ball to the shortstop. She'll reach for the 3rd time today. We'll see what the official scorer rules that. She was booking it down the line. Wilhelm reaching safely brings up Delaney DeVore. DeVore looks to bunt, pulls it back for ball number 1. As they've ruled that Wilhelm reached on the fielding error by the shortstop. Both teams with 3 errors today, as maybe the cold weather has affected some of the fielding capabilities as DeVore fouls that 1-0 pitch back. Here's the 1-1 pitch by Leonard. DeVore will bunt down the line as she gets thrown out on the sacrifice bunt, moving Wilhelm up to second base. Gets DeVore by half a step. But DeVore does her job, puts Wilhelm in scoring position for Brittany Parson with 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th as Frostburg State leads 6-4. Parson looks at strike 1 on the low outside corner of the plate. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Almost got away from the catcher for ball 1. Parson waiting on the 1-1 pitch and called strike 2 as Leonard leads the count 1-2. Parson looks to have gone around, but holds up as it runs the count to 2-2. Parson probably got away with that one. On the 2-2 pitch, she fouls it straight back. Leonard receives a sign, 2-2 pitch. Parson lifts it up in the air. Center fielder back. Wilhelm will tag up from second to third. The wind is pushing a little bit out to center field, but not enough as Parson needed just a little bit more to tie that one.
No batting.
But with 2 outs brings up Lindsey Stigler, runner at third base, and Wilhelm. Stigler's 1 for 2 with a run scored. As she looks at strike 1 on the outside part of the plate. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Taken outside for ball 1. It's tough for Stigler to chase on those outside pitches. Has a pretty good eye at the plate. After spending most of her career behind the plate. So she knows where that strike zone is. Takes that pitch, fouls it softly down the third base line for a foul ball. Takes the count to 1-2. And the 1-2 pitch outside as Stigler holds off. Runs the count to 2-2. Here's the 2-2 pitch from Leonard as Stigler holds off on close pitch to run the count full. Here's the payoff pitch to Stigler, and she fights it off to stay alive. Good at bat for Stigler here in the bottom of the 4th. Down by 2, and Wilhelm at third base with 2 outs. Here's another payoff pitch, and Stigler fouls that one out of play. And we'll do it again with a full count. Leonard receives a sign from coaching staff. Stigler calls time as signal is not coming in as quickly as she thinks. At the plate, here's the full count pitch and chases it upstairs. To end the 4th inning. Chowan does get a runner to third base, but Hawks still trail 6-4 to Frostburg State. We'll head to the top of the 5th inning when we come back. We're back here in the top of the 5th inning as Frostburg State leads Chowan 6-4. Emery Flores still in the circle. Just got to get the bats going for the Hawks as both teams are battling here on the final game of the day. She'll take the first pitch bunt. And a snap throw to Wilhelm covering gets Erica Payne for the first out of the inning. Great bunt right out in front of the plate. But a strong snap throw gets her for the first out of the inning.
Now batting the right fielder, 0-0, Ava Ganibus.
Brings up 0-0, another bunt right out in front of the plate, and once again, Brooklyn Johnson gets her at first base with Paige Wilhelm covering.
The 2 outs here is something on one, Pat Croft.
Brooklyn Johnson trying to figure out why they tried to test her arm once again on back-to-back pitches. Frostburg State's coach having a little chat with his leadoff batter, Kat Treff. She's 1 for 3 today with a strikeout. Emery Flores looking to continue the momentum here in the top of the 5th inning with 2 quick outs. Hopefully to get the Hawks back in the dugout with some momentum as Treff looks at strike 1 on the outside part of the plate. Here's the 0-1 slapped up the middle and out of the reach of Meredith Morgan at shortstop for a 2-out single here in the top of the 5th.
Lay down shortstop number 42, Brianna Powell.
Brianna Powell up for Frostburg State with 2 outs as she lines that one through the left side of the infield for another single as there's runners at first and second for the Bobcats here in the top of the 5th. Frostburg State's not hitting the ball hard, they're just finding gaps, mainly in the middle of the infield by the Hawks. But with 2 outs and 2 on brings up number 3, Kennedy Batchelor, who's 2 for 3 with an RBI. She looks at that first pitch for a ball. The 1-0 pitch is fouled straight back. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Off speed, called for strike 2. Look to have froze Batchelor as Flores is ahead in the count 1-2 with 2 outs and 2 on here in the top of the 5th. Batchelor rips that one down the third base line for a foul ball. Wind's really howling right now, pushing the ball out to left field as we have a crosswind coming from right field to left. A 1-2 pitch is in the dirt, and both runners will advance up 60 feet on the wild pitch. That pitch is ripped down to third base. Brittany Parson will sling it over to Jessie Gentry at first to end the inning, as Frostburg State puts 2 runners in scoring position, and Emma Ray Flores continues to shut the door. The Bobcats lead 6-4. We'll come back with the bottom of the 5th. We're back here in the bottom of the 5th as Chowan trails Frostburg State 6-4. First pitch is called a strike for Jessie Gentry, who is 1 for 2 today with an RBI. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Gentry will line that one up the middle, but snagged by the shortstop for the first out. It was great range by the Bobcats shortstop, Brianna Powell.
Now batting for the Hawks, shortstop number 15, Meredith Morgan.
With 1 out brings up Chowan shortstop Meredith Morgan, who is 0 for 2 on the day after going 3 for 3 in the first game against Elizabeth City State. That pitch is high, taken for a ball. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Morgan slaps it right past the first base bag and into foul territory for a 1-out single and her first hit of the day against Frostburg State. But with the 1-out single brings up Shannon Buchanan, who's 1 for 2 with 2 RBI today. Hawks will look to rally before the final 2 innings. First pitch, check swing, peeled down, and said she went around. Buchanan knew it. And she is down to 0-1 in the count. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Ripped to third. Powell will end up with the ball. Throw it the short way to second base as Buchanan reaches on the fielder's choice and Morgan's out at second. For the second out of the inning, that brings up Brooklyn Johnson, who's 0 for 2 on the day. Hopefully it can spark some offense from the bottom of the lineup as she looks at ball 1 in the dirt. Johnson hits a little dribbler down to second base. Short flip over to first base and ends the inning. Hawks still trail Frostburg State 6-4. We'll be back with the top of the 6th inning.
Number 10, Amber Keelan.
Back here at Hawks softball field in the top of the 6th inning as the Bobcats lead the Hawks 6-4 as Amber Keene takes ball 1 inside. Keene will take ball 2 high and outside. If you're just joining us, Frostburg State scored 4 runs in the top of the 1st. Hawks respond with 3 in the bottom as Flores gets strike 1. John Wood even the score in the bottom of the 2nd, but Frostburg State scored 1 in the 3rd and 1 in the 4th to lead 6-4. 2-1 pitch taken to right field. Taggart with a weird route, but makes the catch for the first out. As that ball knuckled a little bit on the line drive to Mackenzie Taggart for the first out. Which will bring up Taylor McCarty. She takes the first pitch off the glove of Brittany Parson. Strong throw by Meredith Morgan will not get her. It's more than likely that will go down as a E5 as Parson had trouble handling that one.
Our batting third baseman number 18, Aaliyah Rainey.
Which will bring up number 18, Ramey, as she takes first pitch for a ball. Here's the 1-0 pitch inside for ball 2. Here's the pitch by Flores, high and outside for ball 3. They gave that a single to McCarty as Flores comes in with a strike. Take the count to 3-1. From my vantage point, down to Parson was as that ball is flared over to the third baseman Parsons' head and called fair. Looks like it was just inside the foul line. But only one base,
22, clear handling.
as McCarty has to stop at second base. Brings up number 22, Claire Hanlon. She takes the first pitch, and Parson lets her roll foul, as it would have been tough to get Hanlon at first base for the second out of the inning. So she wisely lets it roll foul and picks it up. So Hanlon's behind in the count, 1-0. Here's the 0-1 pitch, low and in the dirt by Flores. Flores hasn't pitched bad in her 5 1/3 innings. Scattered 12 hits, walked 3, as Hanlon places one perfectly in the center field. But DeVore holds the runners as the Bobcats load the bases. Hawks are going to have a conversation in the circle with 1 out and bases loaded, as Flores has to work some more magic and try and get out of this one. As Frostburg State does have a pinch hitter at the plate. She'll look at ball 1. As Kaylee Kraus is at the plate. She takes that 1-0 pitch and fouls it high into the trees over the press box. Kraus is a transfer from Patrick Henry Community College, where she hit .372. This season she's hitting .250. She's 1 for 4 as she looks at a ball. Flores behind in the count, 2-1. Here's the pitch as Kraus looks at ball 3. Like I mentioned, Flores has only walked 2 batters today, but she's had a lot of deep counts as she hits Kraus and walks in another run, as the Bobcats extend their lead to 7-4. Time's called by Coach Gustafson. Now it looks like the end for Emma Ray Flores on the day, which will bring in number 9, Carly Wildeboer, who is no stranger to Chowan athletics, as her sister, Lacey Wildeboer, played for the Hawks from 2009 to 2013, when the Hawks dominated the CIAA with 4 straight Northern Division titles and captured the first CIAA championship in 2009. Wildeboer is a junior from Castlehane, North Carolina. The one thing that Wildeboer does share with her sister is a no-hitter. Carly threw a no-hitter at Bowie State last season for her first career no-hitter. But Wildeboer comes into a tight spot with 1 out, bases loaded, as Nibis takes ball 1, low in the dirt. During the change, Erica Payne comes back in for Kraus, who was hit by a pitch. Nibis takes ball 2. She was almost hit on the back foot. Here's the 2-0 pitch to Nibis. She swings extremely early. Goes off the fencing in front of the Chowan dugout. Foul ball moves the count to 2-1. Nibis grounds one into the dirt. Wildeboer makes the throw at the plate to get the lead runner for the 2nd out of the inning. Well, 2 outs in the inning. Brings up Kat Treff, swings and misses for the first strike. Bobcats still have the bases loaded with 2 outs. With a 7-4 lead, Treff fouls off the 0-1 pitch straight back and out of play. So far, the Bobcats have left 9 runners on base. They have 3 more on the path right now as Wildeboer is looking to strike out Treff to end the inning. Treff will foul off the 0-2 pitch off the brand new roofing of the first base dugout. This season, the softball program did some updates, as well as some other programs on campus. The new netting in front of the dugouts and the banners, the white banners with the new Conference Carolinas logo. As Treff looks at ball 1, take the count to 1-2. Brand new metal roofings on both dugouts and the press box. Treff lines the ball to second base, and Wilhelm gets the out at first base to limit the damage as Frostburg State leads 7-4 and leads the bases loaded. We'll be back with the bottom of the 6th. We're back here in the bottom of the 6th as Frostburg State leads Chowan 7-4. Gonna have a pinch hitter with Beth Walker. Beth Walker in her 2nd game of the season as she missed the first 11 games. She takes the first pitch inside for a strike. The 0-1 pitch fouled straight back into the fencing. Walker's behind 0-2. Last season, Walker had 65 free bases and only 25 strikeouts, so it's a great ratio for Walker as she fouls off the 0-2 pitch into the woods behind the Chowan dugout. Walker will foul that one off the top of the fence. Count remains 0-2. Walker will look to return back to her form as she did in her freshman year when she was NFCA All-Region, as well as CIAA Freshman of the Year, CIAA All-Rookie. Didn't have a bad year by any stretch, as she hit 18 doubles, only had 2 home runs as she takes ball 1 in the dirt. She had 2 home runs last season, but she hit 10 her freshman year, had 8 doubles and 10 home runs, which led the team. Walker takes that one, rips it down the first base line, and 3 unassisted on a tough stop by McCarty for the first out. She'll bring up Paige Wilhelm at the top of the order, as she is 2 for 3 with a stolen base and 2 runs scored. Been a spark plug at the top of the order this season. Coming in, she was hitting .385. Pretty sure that number is moved north as she rips one to third base, played up in the Slappers defense. And Wilhelm is retired for the second out of the inning. And brings up number 5, Delaney DeVore. Like we mentioned, it's the final game of the day, but we have 3 games tomorrow with Frostburg State and Elizabeth City State starting things off at 11 o'clock, followed by Chowan and Frostburg State will meet again at 1, and the Hawks and the Vikings of Elizabeth City State will finish it off at 3 o'clock on March 1st. DeVore looks at the 1-0 pitch and swings and misses. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and low for ball 2. DeVore takes the 2-1 pitch, fouls it out of play, and moves the count to 2-2. The Hawks won't be in action during the week, but will take on Virginia State, Bluefield State, Pace at the Virginia State Trojan Invitational next weekend, starting on March 7th, going into the 8th and 9th, as DeVore fouls that one straight back to keep the count at 2-2. Here's the 2-2 pitch. DeVore spoils it again, fouls it straight back and out of play. Leonard gets the sign and delivers 2-2 pitch. High and outside for ball 3. The umpire having a little bit of a conversation with Coach Gustafson. As I think he made the motion as some of the girls were beating on buckets. As DeVore fouls that one back again. Here's another 3-2 pitch for DeVore. And she watches it right down the middle for strike 3 to end the inning. Well, DeVore strikes out to end the inning. Hawks trail Frostburg State 7-4. We'll be back with the top of the 7th. We're back for the top of the 7th as Frostburg State leads Chowan 7-4. Carly Wildeboer still in the circle as Brianna Powell looks at strike 1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Wildeboer gets her dancing a little bit for ball 1. Here's the 1-1 pitch called a strike. Moves the count to 1-2 on Powell. Powell rips it down to third base. Strong throw by Parson over to Gentry for the first out. With the out brings up number 3, Kennedy Batchelor, as she fouls the first pitch into her foot, which I know does not feel good now that the sun is starting to set a little bit over right field. As the 0-1 pitch is lifted and called off by Delaney DeVore for the second out. With 2 outs in the top of the 7th, brings up number 10, Amber Kane. She is 0 for 2 today with a walk as she looks at ball number 1. Here's the 1-0 pitch. And through the wickets of Meredith Morgan. She was in position, just came up empty, as that will be an error on Meredith Morgan to prolong the top of the 7th inning with 2 outs. Will DeVore gets ahead 0-1 on the first pitch to McCarty. And McCarty takes strike 2. Here's the 0-2 pitch, and McCarty fouls it off. Looked more like a defensive swing. But here's the 0-2 pitch. McCarty grounds to short and gets the 3rd out of the inning. So the error doesn't come back to haunt the Hawks. Final at-bats for the Hawks in the bottom of the 7th, trailing Frostburg State 7-4. We'll be back.
Parson.
In the bottom of the 7th for the Hawks, Chowan's got 3, 4, and 5 due up. Parson, Stigler, and Gentry. It's a good start for the Hawks if they want to rally, trailing Frostburg State 7-4. As Parson looks at the first pitch low for ball number 1. Leonard's come in, tossed 4 innings, has allowed 1 hit. Kind of offset Chowan as Parson looks at strike number 1 to even the count 1-1. Parsons 0 for 3 today after having a strong game 1 against Elizabeth City State, where she hit Chowan's all-time career home run record. She looks at ball number 2 to move the count to 2-1. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Called a strike on the outside part of the plate. Evens the count at 2-2. And Parson swings and misses to end for the first out of the inning. Brings up Lindsay Stigler, who's a 1 for 3 at the plate today. And Stigler swings and misses on the first pitch. might have to talk about moving some of these games up tomorrow, as we fell behind early and sun is starting to set here in the 7th, but those first 2 games went to the 7th inning. I don't think this game would have been able to finish, as Stigler's looking at a 1-1 count. Pitch inside, ball 2. Like I mentioned, Chowan won 19-5 against Elizabeth City State in game 1. Then Frostburg State handed Elizabeth City State an 11-1 loss in 5 innings, same as Chowan, as Stigler looks at strike 2 to even the count at 2-2. This one's 7-4 in favor of Frostburg State in the bottom of the 7th with 1 out and nobody on. Here's the 2-2 pitch, and Stigler jammed and popped up. Leonard calls off the defense for the 2nd out of the inning. So the Hawks have to rally with 2 outs and nobody on. Jesse Gentry at the plate. Here's the 0-0 pitch. Gentry lines one softly behind the second base bag. Falls in the middle of, in between the center field and the dirt and behind second base. Gentry reaches on the single, and we've got something brewing. Hawks trailing 7-4 though, as Coach Gustafson is going to make a pinch runner, and what looks like Michaela Luskin, who was the pinch,
Meredith Morgan at the plate.
who was the right fielder in game 1 against Elizabeth City State. Brings up Meredith Morgan, shortstop. She lines one past the diving second baseman for the 2-out single. And the Hawks have runners at first and second. Brings up Shannon Buchanan. But before Buchanan steps in the box, Frostburg State's assistant coach is going to have a talk. Like I mentioned, Leonard had given up 1 hit through 4 innings coming into the bottom of the 7th, and back-to-back 2-out hits by Meredith Morgan and Jesse Gentry.
Comes to play for the Hawks, left fielder number 11, Shannon Buchanan.
What we have seen this year is the Hawks have never been counted out. They still rally, still fight to that final strike or final out in every game this season, as Shannon Buchanan pops up the first pitch and is caught in foul territory to end it. As Chowan falls to Frostburg State 7-4 in the final game of day 1 of the Hawks Softball Classic.
Again tomorrow. Game
Paige Wilhelm
set for 11, 1, and 3 right here at
led the Hawks at the plate, going 2 for 4 with 2 runs. Shannon Buchanan was 1 for 3 with this 2 RBI. But the Hawks fall 7-4. Chowan will be back in action against Frostburg State tomorrow at 1 o'clock. And then wrap up with Elizabeth City State at 3 o'clock. Frostburg State and Elizabeth City State will play at 11 a.m. We will have live video and live stats available. You can find that at GoSeahawks.com/GameDayCentral. Until tomorrow, good night.